Well, good morning. At least it's in the morning when I'm recording this. I wanted to make a video on how I can best visualize and teach the respiratory system. So what I have is my pickle jar, and the components of the pickle jar is, and we'll try to relate this to our human anatomy, is I have the trachea, okay, and then I have the bronchioles, and I have the lungs. The little red balloons are your lungs, and then I have your diaphragm. We'll find out what an important muscle that is to our breathing. The pickle jar itself is our rib cage, and you notice our rib cage is a little stiff. So our ribs are important to breathe, but there's a more important muscle. Another important component of our lungs is that it is negative pressure. So able to get the negative pressure is I have this stopper here, and I'll try to do this without stabbing myself. Okay, so you remove the air from within the cavity. Very important principle with our lungs, negative pressure. So I'm removing the air from within our cavity. So as we breathe, our diaphragm pulls down, the muscles pull it down, which enlarges this space. So when we enlarge it, it allows our lungs to fill up. Then when we have expiration, the diaphragm comes up and allows collapsing the lungs. So this is negative pressure working with this muscle. So as we breathe, and hopefully you can see, let me move my fat fingers here. As we breathe, the lungs expand and then contract. And it's all within this muscle, and it's all due to the negative pressure. So the cavity gets larger when the muscle pulls down, so the air flows into the lungs. Then when we have expiration, the muscle comes up, which makes the cavity smaller and pushing the air out of our lungs through our trachea. So you can see if you have something go drastically wrong with your diaphragm, such as a spinal cord injury or trauma, you lose the capacity to breathe. And our rib cages are important because it also makes for that expansion and contraction of that negative space. So when you do have a trauma and your diaphragm's still working, but the negative pressure has been destroyed, such as your rib puncturing your pleural space, then we put a chest tube in to restore that negative pressure. So the chest tube is just a mechanism to restore the negative pressure that our lungs must have to work. So hopefully this helps a little bit in understanding it, and I really like my pickle jar. Thanks.